Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor in Paradise, a guy's review. Good to see everyone today. Happy Tuesday morning. A new Bachelor in Paradise tonight. Live streams, West Coast time, 4 p.m., 7 p.m., 10 p.m., East Coast. That's a pre-8 p.m. episode, live stream, and an after episode for you guys. So tons of content coming out. And speaking of which, we just got back from New York City. I feel like all of Bachelor Nation was there. Katie Thurston and Blake Moynes spotted in New York City at U.S. Open events. They were spotted with Dale and Claire and some others. Let's go right to the Instagram page here. We're going to talk a little bit about this. Yeah, here they are with Claire and Dale. Lots of worlds emerge. How interesting. We've got Dale Moss, who was on the season with Blake, so they were competing for Claire, and then Blake loses, or, Dale wins, depending on how you want to look at it, and now they're all winners. They're all thriving. They're doing well. So good on them. But boy, did these couples bring controversy here. All right, tons of controversy. First, I wanted to talk about this. We have two topics really quickly. This is Katie posting about what went down on her trip to San Diego. Haven't had a chance to watch the last few weeks of episodes. What I do know is I planned a trip to San Diego after filming wrapped up and invited some friends, including Tammy, Jasenia, Alana, and Chris Conran. During this trip, everyone was single and exploring. Your typical spring break gathering, except for Katie. She was engaged at this point, but no one knew. Nothing more, nothing less. Swipe up to listen to Dr. Lovegrove share his thoughts on the trip he joined us on. So this was in response to everyone saying, oh, Alana and Chris were already dating beforehand because they were spotted together. And it's like, no, there's a group of Bachelor people that live in San Diego, Los Angeles, New York, Nashville, and maybe somewhere else, Chicago. I don't know. They're all over the map, guys. They're all over the map in these little bastions, but there they were. So it's brought to the attention a lot of people wondering like what Katie's motivations are. Is she pre-planned? Did she know the game going into it? And it's literally pulled me into the mess. And look, I get it. I understand. This whole video, I said I was going to make it because it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of cringeworthy. And I don't use that term often, but it's cringeworthy for me because I'm about to read all the comments you guys left. And let me tell you something. So I go to New York City, right? I'm going to spare some details because, just to be respectful of others. I go to New York City with my fiance for New York Fashion Week. She's a model at Tasha Courtney. Go give her a follow. She's a beautiful soul. And I was deciding, she had an event at Revolve, as a lot of people were seen at the Revolve event. We'll post some photos. And again, I'm not saying all this as if there's any real controversy here. We're just entertaining the idea and feeding the beast. And I had some stand-up shows. So big, first of all, shout out to whoever made this for me. And this was amazing. Got this gift after one of my shows. So thank you so much. And so many kind people came out from all over. Some traveled literally an hour or in change each way to come see me perform. So I appreciate that so much. When I booked a show in New York, when we booked the flights to New York just last week, I said, all right, I'll try to get up on stand-up shows. We made a fun weekend out of it, got there Friday morning and just got back to Los Angeles this morning. So we ended up staying just a few blocks away from where Katie and Blake were staying. And it's been no secret on my channel. I try my best not to name drop, but there's plenty of contestants and former leads and former parts of Bachelor Nation that have reached out to me. Everyone from Pilot Pete, who sent me a DM and said, man, you just tore me to shreds, but it was a ton of fun. Let me know when you're performing next and I'll come to a show. So there's people that understand what I do is trying to, some say play the middle ground or be unbiased, but honestly, it's with my channel is with the core theme that everybody is doing the best with the information they have. That's it. So it doesn't mean someone like Brendan doesn't do something bad or Greg Grippo or even Colton Underwood. We will rail hard on people that have, cast a large wake and has some collateral damage, including Bachelor producers. Of course, my channel is not Bachelor approved. Very rare that they approve me talking to someone on their show. I'm not part of their vet. They don't pay me, so I am not under their control, right? So I just do what I do. I'm a stand-up comedian. I've recapped the show for 7 years. During the pandemic, I decided to do something that I believe is very unique within Bachelor Nation, which is not be a former contestant and have what I would call thriving channel this year. It gets more views than some news organizations do. It blows my mind. I'm so grateful. I'm so humbled because this past year, when I decided to make daily content, you'll see on my header above on my YouTube channel, it says 2 videos a week. All right. I make 20 now. when I decided to go full time and make content, it was, everything, you do is self-serving, right? So I'm trying to make a living. I'm trying to not have to do other side gigs and this and that. I'm trying to spread my comedy, spread my cheer. I'm trying to be likable. But at the same time, I'm trying to call out the bullshit that exists within the franchise, because you see how easy it is for the contestants to get manipulated by the producers, and you see how easy it is and toxic it is for the contestants to manipulate each other, how toxic shows like Bachelor in Paradise can be, where it might be there for the right reasons. The show might be pushing for a certain thing, but there is an incestual relationship with all of Bachelor Nation. They all know each other, this and that. So my show just tries to break down the fourth wall and talk about it. Well, this past year, and this might not be interesting to anybody. This video could completely bomb and whatever. I try not to make myself the center of these news stories, because I try to just sit back and just watch it with you guys. I'm just a fan of the show. So, and that's what I do. I love to rant and talk and digress and this and that. So that's what I do. I'm not unbiased. None of us are. We all have biases. And of course, in the comments, there'll be people saying, oh, maybe, Dave's biased towards Katie. What actually went down is she caught my channel along with dozens of other people in Bachelor Nation that started to watch my channel. I get it from people like Chris Conran. This week says, my parents love your show, to Rachel Kirkconnell saying, my parents love your show, to Connor Brennan's mom always commenting on my channel. And I'm name dropping these parents because it's adorable. It is so adorable to me that parents, other than your occasional Us Weekly article, most of these contestants don't get much news coverage unless it's for the wrong reasons, right? If they do something, terrible. But for my channel, it's like, we'll talk about a lot of niche topics. So I think I'm the only one like reporting video format day to day on YouTube for the show. And that's just where I'm at. So because YouTube started heavily recommending my channel this year, heavily, if you looked at my stats before, it wasn't until I went daily that I kind of shot up. Contestants started watching. And that's exactly what happened with Katie. And, she's someone who's dabbled in the comedy world. She's got very funny TikToks. I would share them. It was months of me enjoying her humor before I found out she was a fan. In fact, and I say a fan, but I mean a friend. She's become a friend. But it was because she enjoyed my humor, my work, that we probably reached out in the first place. There's nothing I can offer her to spin any PR people feel about her. There's plenty of people, including Matt James and Rachel Kirkconnell, that I've dove deep into investigating how I believe their relationship can recover and what they can do to use their platform for better. And some people don't like that. Some people would rather cancel others and have them have no platform. But someone like me, I like to see someone use their platform for good, even if it's not something you agree with. So I think most people, what I've learned on my channel, appreciate that. Not to say I don't have strong opinions. I'm what most would consider a social democrat. I want everyone to pay their fair share of taxes. I want universal health care and women's rights across the board. I want so many different things for people. And yet the easy thing to say is, oh, Dave's conservative because, I'm not in support of canceling voices. The whole idea of counseling people to me is more important, because then we get to use our platform to evolve versus tear it down and then, create just a bunch of micro martyrs out there. Cause that's what people become, is micro martyrs. And, anyway, so I'm not saying don't vote with your follow someone, unfollow them, do whatever you got to do. That'll be part of their moral barometer towards what good they want to do. But with someone like Katie, she's a friend. I don't endorse everything she does, every decision she makes, but I understand a lot of them. I understand the anger she felt over Greg Grippo. It doesn't mean she was in the right. It doesn't mean she was in the wrong. It just means you understand that people who share their emotions and wear them on their sleeve, you'll get the good and the bad. For all the reasons people wanted Katie Thurston as the lead of The Bachelorette, you can't hate it when you see the side of her that's passionate and feels like she was, cut deep in this and that. So anyway, I'm going to read your comments and we'll just discuss them. And first I'm going to, I got to toggle over here. I'll play for you the Instagram story that I put out that kind of led to this Reddit thread here. So this is it, very simple. I'll try not to swear.
We got big meatball pizza. Bunch of assholes in town here don't know how to eat their pizza.
Nice reveal. Neal Lane ring.
Just really trying to eat our pizza here, but these fucking...
So then there was another story there. They kissed, they're cute, whatever. This was, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. We went out to dinner. Again, I'm not trying to be too personal here, but what you notice is this. In real life, in human interactions, so many loving people came up to Blake and Katie to take photos, to not even, some of them not even take photos, but just to say, oh my gosh, first of all, what are you guys doing here? So random, but also there was so much encouragement there. And that exists in the real world, not so much on the internet, because every person who disagrees with others the keyboard jockeying happens and this and that. So what I've learned is just don't argue with people online. But the least I can do, and let me switch this over here, is go back. Let me go back to this page here. What the least I can do is respond humbly to some of the comments, maybe criticism that I got. Because yeah, I have no problem canoodling with people in Bachelor Nation. I've got my own career path in stand-up. I act, I do other things, write, this and that. I got my own career path. I love what's going on with the Bachelor community that I have for everyone that's come out. But at the same time, does that make me clout chasing? When someone starts to gain a following, here's what I've learned. Because I tinkered around YouTube with only a couple thousand subscribers until this year, and it's at 40,000 and change. Past Chatty Broads, gonna pass Nick, different people, and I go, wow, I have a lot of pride in that. I have a lot of pride in the work I do because I've done comedy for so long in front of audiences of 2, 3, 4 people. I had a show on Friday night in front of 100 people, and Sunday night I had a show in front of 6 people. That's just the way it is. I love what I do. I love making people laugh. It gets frustrating when you go online and people don't see it that way, and that's fine. Let's read them. I'm not going to read all of them. Well, you know what? Let me do this. Let me go to best, which I'm sure will be most controversial, but we'll at least get the ones that are, whatever they say. He's in the sub. We can just ask him. Yep, that's me right here. Oh, so the main thing was Katie and Blake hanging out with Bachelor Nation YouTuber Dave Neal. Thoughts? So when I first see this, I just got back from New York. The first thing, this is coming out Tuesday. I'm recording this Monday. Same shirt, but I really wear like the same 5 shirts. In rotation. I got I'm such a basic bro. All right, so my heart rate triples. No one likes to see this. I totally can empathize with people that are in Bachelor Nation that are afraid to say the wrong thing or say something controversial or mention their vaccine. I mean, here I am, a vaccinated person with both of my shots in a city, New York City, where they're checking vax cards at the door. We're outside, and I still get hate from people saying, oh my gosh, what are you doing? When I have sacrificed so much to be away from my family during this pandemic and try to keep them safe and socially distance and live with my fiance who's also immunocompressed, and we've done so many good things. It's never enough for everybody. And when you realize that, it's kind of freeing. You go, you know what? It's just never enough. Nothing Katie ever does will please people. Nothing Rachel Kirkconnell does with her platform will please people. But for the most part, that's just going to exist in society. That people go, you know what? No, not for me. The problem is that we live in this binary. You're on my team or you're on the other team. You're a conservative or you're liberal. You're left, you're whatever the case may be. And that's not a healthy place for us to sort of unite as a country and do good. That just tears us all apart. But some people would rather live in a world where they're either on your team or they're on the other team. And what I've come to realize is most people are trying the best with the information they have. We loved hanging out. We hung out for, on 8 hours. We did a full work day. I couldn't believe we got a nice vegan dinner. We had some drinks and we had a great time. And very happy for them. I got great vibes from them. Katie was so funny. Whenever anyone met her, she would start yelling at them to tell them to follow me instead. She'd be like, oh, I'm here. You guys, oh my gosh, Katie. Oh, but I'm here with Dave Neal, the power recap or whatever. She's got a funny sense of humor, okay? Personally, I have no thoughts. Katie and Blake have hung out with a lot of people in New York City, a city with a lot of people. They can hang out with whoever they want. That's that. And so this is the most liked person, all right? So people understand. Like I've said before, my name is on my Reddit. I don't lurk. I comment with my name. I put myself out there. The biggest problem with Reddit is anonymity. That's the problem. It's almost like every negative thought you have about someone in daily life you say out loud because there's no recourse there. So I'm not saying people shouldn't have anonymity. I'm just saying it's not good for kindness, okay? Even if your kindness is sort of fake. It makes sense now why Dave always seemed so biased when it came to Katie and always defends her. Wondering if he hangs out with Brendan too, because he's been very kind towards him and making excuses for his behavior towards Natasha. I made, probably 7 videos, hours worth of content criticizing Brendan. But I understand hurt people. So to say what Brendan did is good, no, not at all. He did something bad and he hurt Natasha and he's paying the price by the unfollows that he's received. But at the same time, I've said, you know what? I'm sure he would be like your standard type of friend. Good friend, makes bad choices, does whatever. Do you vilify the person for the rest of their life? I look forward to hearing his statements. I do. I look forward. If that's me making excuses for him, be it as it may, I think most people aren't psychopathic. Most people aren't narcissists. That's like a 1%. And maybe he is. And he did gaslight. And we saw that all go down. But we're going to have to see tomorrow night how it all ends and continue to talk about it. So anyway, but to say I'm biased towards her because, and I'm always defending her because, whatever. No, I was a big fan of her before I ever met her. I understand that this can be problematic because it's probably why he was lenient on her during her season, but will it be an issue post-show? That's a genuine question. I'm not sure why this matters a month later. I don't think any commentators can be objective anymore. Becca, Joe, and Natasha were all on Paradise. Tayshia co-host Katie and Michelle's season. These people are personally involved too, so I don't see how we can expect their takes to be any better than this dude's. I don't disagree with that. There's absolute biasness. Like I was making a video the other day and I got a text message from Nick Viall. Do I then question whether or not I'm going to shit on Nick? Yeah, of course. But that helps me give everyone the benefit of the doubt. So there is some good there, that I'm not just trying to throw barbs. Some people I throw barbs at. I've been critical of Tayshia in a lot of ways with her PPP loan and kind of like, Colton. Come on. But at the same time, I'm going to be the first one there to try to understand what their thought process was. Colton Underwood's a fascinating story, right? We don't need to get into every single story, but to just say someone's pure evil or pure good, that's we're not doing the research to really consider it. So I would say Dave does a really good job looking at both sides, even when it's really unpopular to look at. Obviously, he'll have his biases, but I feel like him and Bachelor Fan Take are probably the most objective recappers out there. Again, I don't need to be objective. I have points of view. When Rachel Kirkconnell's mom personally reached out to me to correct a news story that had misinformation, I was also vilified there. You know what I mean? So like, I understand that by trying to get to some truths, you're going to piss off a lot of people, but that's okay. I would say Dave does a really good job. I already said that. Definitely agree about Bachelor Fan Take. Love his recaps, and he seems to have empathy for everyone involved in these situations. A reasonable take. 90% of the people on this thread will tear Katie down while ignoring the fact that other contestants have their own shows. Right? Engineering 2022, your flair does not check out. Thank you. I've been trying to... Okay, that doesn't make sense. I'm trying to read the good ones here. How could this possibly be considered problematic? He's just an entertainer mingling with the subjects of his material. If we were to rule out any Bachelor Nation commentator who have had interactions with past contestants, we'd be left with practically no podcast or peripheral content. I knew Leo I played on a baseball team with Leo. And I think that's the only I think these are the only Bachelor people I've met. I could be wrong. I've talked on the phone with a former Leeds. I've had people call me. I've gotten tons of DMs. Michael A sent me a Venmo because he was wanting to pay for my car battery that was stolen. There's good people out there. I don't think they necessarily reach out to me to get a favorable review. I think they respect what I'm doing because I'm not trying to tear them down. You understand that? So I could be very naive there, but I think they respect that I'm trying to find the good in what they're doing. Katie Thurston was asked a lot of things by Bachelor producers, and this isn't information I got from her. This is just what I know. And she said no to a lot of things. She elevated so many charities, so many people, so many programs, so many platforms that didn't have a voice. She did so much with her show, and yet people are going, oh, she mistreated her ex. And look, nobody's perfect, but there was so much goodwill that was done there. So she was, first of all, she was the first person to text me. The first person when my dog was on his deathbed. So like these are things that people do because they're kind humans. There's an example after another. Do we share every example? No, it comes off superficial, like I'm name dropping. It's very strange for me and my fiance to even get messages from people that are leads and stars of the show. I'm just a comic. I just like to go on stage and make people laugh. Now I get gifts sent to me from you guys because you're so, so kind. I get stories of people that listen to my channel while they breastfeed and people that listen to my channel while they sit in the chair and get chemo treatment. It's so humbling and it has brought me to tears on many occasions because what we're trying to do here is bring people together, but also understand there will be forces that try to tear us apart. And that's okay too. Maybe we'll just ignore them. This will probably be the only time I comment on this, but I said I would do it. It's super meta, so it's fine. I guess problematic isn't the right term, but I understand why people think he may not be objective due to their mingling. And I definitely agree that we'd essentially have no content if we held other podcasters to the standard. And then I replied, yeah, I get it. I'm going to start calling myself Objective Dave. Weed out any discussions that I'm not also a Bachelor fan. So I am objective. There are people that I like and people that I dislike, of course. So the other thing that I said is that's fine. You guys can read the thread if you want. I'm pretty sure they're friends. He mentioned in passing that they talk and were talking while her season was airing. I'm not surprised to see them hanging out, to be honest. And Mama Moynes was already stopping by before Katie's seaseason. Mama Moynes was on my channel. Katie said she'd love to do it, but doesn't think she'll get, probably won't get approved by their strict contracts. I don't ask anybody to do my show. If anyone in Bachelor Nation is wants to be on, that's like a former contestant, talk to me. Brendan Quinn reached out. I was like, bro, I'd love to talk with you. I don't want to ask people to be on my show and have them feel like they owe me a favor. Nope, not going to do it. So my DMs are open. Smart to make friends with the independent podcasters. If the producers of The Bachelor come after you with a bad edit, you have some protection. It's very true. But also, what I liked about Katie before I met her is that she was one of the ones that came out hard on Sarah Trott. And then what happened next is what showed her character. She came back later and said, I overreacted. The pendulum swung too far. I apologize. And then Sarah Trott and Katie Thurston shared stories of their fathers who had passed away. And it's not about whether you do something wrong or whether you're a good soul or not. It's how you kind of make up for things. And Katie made up for when she realized she was, she was part of them. She goes, I'm part of the Mean Girls. And she realized that. And that's when I was like, oh, this person, she's more than just someone who, brings a sex toy onto the show. That's a gimmick. They make you do a gimmick. She's so more than that. Being sex positive doesn't define who she is. She's a kind person. She's a very kind person. And I again, not here to defend her. I'm telling you my anecdotal evidence of my fun time hanging out with him. He's free to do whatever he wants, but I personally don't care for the content someone like him creates when I know they're close to contestants. It's hard to be objective and fair in their coverage. What? Did I ever say I was objective? Exactly. It's the same reason I feel weird about listening to BHH or Clickbait and even sometimes Chatty Broads when I used to listen to them. First of all, Bachelor Happy Hour and Clickbait are dog crap podcast, and they're paid for by Bachelor Nation. Nobody, and I mean this, challenge me on this, nobody goes harder onto the show than me. I've called out everything that they've done, from colorism to queer baiting to every little thing that they've done to, what they did to Brittany Galvin and so many other examples. So to think that I'm not coming after them is not accurate. It's so strange to see players interacting with content creators. Katie was the content creator and super fan first, though, so it adds up to me. Oh yeah, Katie has been so respectful of what I do with my YouTube channel, and I think she understands that the way to go, I believe, is to be independent and not make decisions because you have a boss telling you what to do. Some of these people are like stuck in Bachelor Nation. The best thing you can do is rally your fan base, but build your own thing, whether it be your YouTube channel, your TikTok, whatever it may be. Build your own thing. Doesn't Caitlin Bristow's Off the Vine? I'm pretty sure that's independent, right? Jason Tartik mentioned that one of the Bachelor podcasts tried to get him for $100,000 contract. And he was like, I'm just going to do my own thing. Do your own thing. Build the equity. Don't rent out your time. She sees that I do that. I've shared this info with her. People of similar age brackets with similar interests hanging out when in the same city. Breaking news. And then I said, I was completely surprised that our hotel was a block away. I actually got them to, this is breaking news. If you guys want breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. I got Katie and Blake to take the subway for the first time. I was like, listen, we could take a car. We're going to get on the subway and you can experience that a little bit. So I was happy for them there. I like Dave. Seems like a really decent guy and his content is really good. Thank you so much. I don't know how to explain it, but this just feels very on brand for Katie. Very on brand for Katie to hang out with somebody that wasn't on the show. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Not surprised. I know Dave Neal really wants to be objective and okay, sure. I want to be fair. I want to hear other opinions. Does that mean I want to be objective? Yeah, I guess so. But I understand that can't always happen. So I understand I don't want to have any biases, but I understand that they're going to exist. I know Dave Neal really wants to be objective, and he seems like a really nice guy. He's always been a big fan of Katie and doesn't understand some people of color's perspective on why Katie isn't liked as much by POC. At this point, the only person I trust when it comes to recaps is Bachelor Fan Take. Go give him your love, absolutely. What we do couldn't be farther apart, and I respect the hustle that he puts into it. But how ignorant would it be of me to say I understand what BIPOC people go through? Wouldn't that be the ignorant thing? So I understand I can't possibly know what it's like to be followed in a 7-Eleven or not get the same negotiating deals because of a wage gap, or or the maternity death rates being that of a third world country for black women in the U.S. But all these things I've researched and talked about through colorism and different aspects, and I think that's what we should be doing. We should be curious to things that we don't know a lot about. And for me, that would be, people of color. But with that said, I've lived all over the country. Okay, and this isn't one of those Dave's got a black friend type of things. I work in stand-up comedy. We go into the trenches late night. It is the rawest, stand-up comedy is the rawest form of entertainment. And I've worked with a lot of different people and heard their stories on stage. Men, women, trans, black, whatever the case may be. And you build so much empathy when you live in markets of diversity. I've lived in Hispanic neighborhoods in Boston, in a Dominican neighborhood in Harlem, and now I live in a Spanish neighborhood, and then I lived in Koreatown, all these different things. So you can never truly know what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes, but I definitely have a curiosity to what others go through, even if it's not how I personally see the world, okay? Much ado about nothing. They are all basically office mates at this point. People on the sub be acting like this is the same as the person covering the White House for the New York Times was caught hanging out with the president. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'd be like if Walter Cronkite was caught. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's not journalism, folks. It's an entertainment reaction channel. I laugh so hard at all the side eyes and holier than thou judgments coming from a bunch of people who spend their free time talking about strangers on the internet. This sub used to be so entertaining. There's so many people that watch my channel because they don't want to be a part of the Reddit community. So they just go to my channel. And I've talked about this with other contestants that have quit Reddit because they understand they'll have a panic attack when they start reading about themselves. When you build enough equity, I think you start to realize all right, I'm trying my best. So if I slip up, at least I know I'm trying my best, right? And that, that's what you kind of build up over time. So it is funny that people will come out and be like, I wonder what someone's motivations are. When my channel started to explode, I don't know, 7 or 8 months ago, it went from thousands of recommendations to millions. I get 10 million impressions a month or something crazy like that. When that started to happen, people were like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? And to me, I've been like, I've always been here. I've always been doing my thing. It's just that YouTube finally pulled my number. I finally got on the right side of their algorithm. Has he hung out with anyone else from Bachelor Nation? Kind of weird, since at least his YouTube channel is more reporting the news in Bachelor Nation than interacting with the people. Well, like I said, I try not to reach out to people because I don't want to look like a clout chaser. I do my own thing. I've got friends that are famous. I've got friends that are not famous, and I try to just do my own thing and treat them like humans. I try not to talk about who slides into my DMs, and I try to, be respectful towards all that. But, obviously when I made a story about it, people in the know that I was probably going to see them while we were on our trip. I think we booked our trip before we even knew they were going to be there. But then all of Bachelor Nation was there for New York Fashion Week. I mean, it makes sense. Dave was a super fan of hers and never criticized her on any of his recaps. It's one of the reasons I stopped listening, similar to some other podcast. I get liking someone, but being so unobjective to praise everything they do and provide zero critique is super transparent and calls into question your skills. There were rumors around that Katie strategically reached out to several of these growing podcasters before the season. Brett V was another one of them, and as a result, they went super easy on her. Guess that has led to friendship now. Nothing illegal with that. They are humans too, and they need friendship just like everyone else. But I guess Katie should have tried to befriend everyone, because while those 4 or so podcasters gave her leeway, she probably didn't fully deserve Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, and a lot of others didn't get that memo and gave her a piece of their minds at every turn. She probably should have sent a fruit basket to ABC producers before, because it was clear they weren't Team Katie. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not for everybody. The quicker you learn you're not for everybody, the better life gets. But there were rumors that Katie strategically reached out. Yeah, she was a fan, so I think she was absorbing a lot of the content. Yeah, but I don't think I would have criticized her too much. Obviously, I think her reaction to Greg after the final rose was very raw, and I understand it. It doesn't mean I think it was good. I think she could have done a better job, PR-wise. But is that what you guys want? You want her to be real or to be PR? You know what I mean? So many people just give these PR fluff answers, and it's like, Katie gave you guys the real emotions, Love it or hate it. She gave you how she felt, I called her out for the Thomas thing. I didn't like the Thomas thing, But I also said we don't know what else went down. So I don't know. I disagree that I didn't call her out at all. I understand these people are in a tough position here. Game of Roses loved her as a player since the contestants were announced for Matt season. They respected her game just like football fans love Tom Brady. I don't even know to be honest, I haven't watched Game of Roses. I'm too busy doing my stuff over here, but it's funny they call it a game. Love it. Or I, for one, like him, but he was evidently too lenient with Katie, or maybe this sub was really effing toxic towards Katie. Yep, she wasn't my favorite, but this sub definitely took a lot of anger that should be at producers at Katie instead. It's effing exhausting. Brace yourself for 75 Reddit care messages. Is that what I got? Someone had said I was trying to hurt myself, and they sent me a message, and I had to go through this Reddit message thing, and I was like, oh, that's really mature of people to do. Whatever. I love Dave's content. I don't think it's wrong for him to hang out with Katie and Blake. I've noticed a lot of content creators hanging out with Bachelor Nation rather than their TikTok creators or YouTubers. Being in the huge era of social media right now, it doesn't surprise me content creators hanging out with reality stars. I've seen this with other reality TV shows too, like Too Hot to Handle, The Circle. The list goes on. Yeah, look. Mutually thirsty, I side-eye any contestant who interacts with Bachelor Nation commentators, let alone hangs out with them. Oh my gosh. Listen guys, I'm a fun hang, okay? Ask Blake. Blake and I had a good time. I'm a fun hang. So how do we feel about Thomas and Serena then, or Demi and her friendship with Nick? Why did you bring up Demi like this sub doesn't go in on her daily? Okay, so this is just getting to something else. I'm trying to get through this. I know Dave is here, so I hope he does a recap of this thread and shares his thoughts. It would be so meta. And then I responded, hey, I just got back from New York City and all that jazz. But here we go. I love Dave's recaps. Me too. I thought he was going to be kind of obnoxious when I first started listening, but I really enjoy him. I can be obnoxious. It's totally depending on how much coffee I've had. He's very grateful for all of his followers and always includes everyone and encourages their input and opinions. Yeah, like videos like this would have benefited from being 7 minutes long, and we're already 30 minutes in. So clearly we're getting to the end of this, but I did want to respond to all the questions or concerns. I feel like all Katie does is hang out with Bachelor Nation adjacent wannabe influencers. Aren't they all Bachelor Nation wannabe influencers? The majority of former contestants only post about hanging out with each other. I think the reason that happens is they go through something so unique other people can't understand. And my thing with my channel is this, I don't go through what they go through, but I'm well versed in it and I understand being authentic and wanting to do your own thing. Look, I don't have a boss. I don't have a boss. I get to do what I want to do. If I do something if I slip up, you guys let me know. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. I think a lot of people get very jaded at how much influencers make, but this is the late stage capitalism we live in. This is it, guys. You don't like it? Find whatever your niche is, start making content, find a way to monetize it, and do your thing. Or just spend the rest of your time in life renting out your time. And I get it. I got good health care. We live in a system where health care is used to keep us in bad jobs. Do what you want to do with that information, folks. Get out there, make your own content. Hey, I'll even try to promote it on my channel for you. All about effing the man. I feel like all Katie does, so we did that. The ex-Bachelor contestants are all hanging out with each other and adjacent, not... Okay, yep, I love this. 3 great people, and I bet their personalities mesh well. 4 great people. My fiance and Katie hit it off. So there was a moment there. We have a basset hound, right? We have a dog. Katie's a big cat. Katie's an animal lover. Blake is too. Someone brought a basset hound puppy into the bar, and my fiance went crazy for a basset hound puppy. Oh my gosh. Katie and Tasha start petting this person's tiny basset hound, the cutest thing in the world. And then Blake and I are just hanging out being like, ladies, huh? Am I right? It was so great. I wouldn't say we've all got similar personalities, but I think we complemented each other well. It was great to introduce them to New York City, having lived there for years. And we took them to West Village and got them right into the thick of things. Dave is great. I think it's an appreciation for how he handles issues within Bachelor Nation. Definitely there's specific issues. I side-eye any Bachelor reporter or content creator that hangs out with Bachelor contestants. A lot of side-eyes happening. Gonna get a optometrist. This video brought to you by AccuView Oasis. Do you side-eye contestants who hang out with the Bachelor clickbait podcasters and producers? That's not what OP meant. They're side-eyeing Dave, not Katie, in this situation because they don't think he can be unbiased. Also, I doubt anyone expects official podcasts and people who make the show to be a fair, unbiased source. Whoever came to me for unbiased, I think you come to me because I'm rational and I use critical thinking. But call me biased. That's fine. How is she friends with Brett V2? He's that guy from Twitter who live tweets the show and is a writer as well. I particularly remember seeing him in those San Diego trip photos as well. He's friends with a bunch of Bachelor Nation people. I think probably via DM slide one way or the other. He had a Bachelor podcast briefly, and that's the other guy. I remember following him because his tweets were funny. I love Dave Neal. Katie's trying to stay relevant in a recap account that wants to be part of the nation so bad, working together for clout. Nice. And thank you so much to the 40 plus 1,000 subscribers that we got over here in my bid to try to be relevant. I appreciate that. I've got a stand-up show happening in Hollywood Wednesday night, actually Echo Park. So if you're in the area, let me know if you want to come. And yeah, this is something, obviously I'm making it not to be super defensive, but just to this is the way I do it, guys. I don't do well commenting on these things. You always come off wrong when you're defensive. So this is just my way of saying, there were forces that were aligned that introduced me to Katie in a weird way, and we've become friends over it. And I really do hope for her and Blake to find whatever that thing is that brings out the most authentic, like, rich life for them. I really do hope that, wish that for them. There's no amount of cutting down that would make someone, like, when you trash other people, a lot of times it's under the vein of being like, well, it's because I'm morally superior. But a lot of people, like I said, hurt people. And we've all got damages. So whenever we see someone, we like to build them up and then tear them down. We do that with almost every celebrity. And I just think that's not productive. So for all of the people in Bachelor Nation that have podcasts and platforms, I just want everyone to do their best to try to be inclusive and authentic and realize that you don't have to knock other people down to get your following. I firmly believe my channel started taking off when we started speaking truth to power and giving people the benefit of the doubt. And we do it over this stupid show called Bachelor. We do it over this dumb water cooler show, but it's bigger than that. It's real life trying to get our country to understand our differences and not push each other away because of them. Communication. Light is the greatest disinfectant. Getting out there and meeting new people and talking to new people. So yeah, I had a great time meeting Katie and Blake, and my fiance loved them too. And we closed out a few different bars and had a ton of fun. And I really wish them well. They've got everything there. I wasn't, put it this way, I wasn't duped. When the cameras aren't rolling and there aren't people watching, they were kind humans. And I think most people are that way. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. This is probably gonna be the last time I ever address anything on Reddit because I'm not trying to be the story, but this one was for you guys. All right, bye now.